Damian Lewis with Prep Sports Nation here at the new schools at Carver in Atlanta, Georgia for our PSN spotlight on the Carver-Atlanta Panthers football team who are getting set for action this weekend when they'll take on Lovejoy in the annual Great Atlanta Bash. Now, the Panthers are coming off a season opening loss to West Forsyth in the Corky Kell Classic, but for Coach Myles and crew, there were plenty of takeaways that have them very optimistic about another return to the postseason. As the Panthers get ready to take on Lovejoy this Saturday in the annual Great Atlanta Bash, Coach Myles says conditioning was definitely an area of focus for them this week.
Well, the biggest takeaway is conditioning. We had a short week. We only had 5 days to get ready. Unfortunately, we were hit with the quarantine, so we had, quarantine for a while. Finally got able to get back on the field on Friday before the Wednesday's game. So, as you can tell, for those that watched the first half, it was 7-0, and second half we kind of got fatigued, and that's when the mental breakdowns began to happen. So this week, the goal is to get in more condition. Hopefully we can make it through the week with practices in no cases. And, of course, play the type of ball that we normally play, eliminate the mistakes, the turnovers, and be physical.
Another takeaway from their season opener was the defensive play by the Panthers. Early on in the contest, they showed they have what it takes to shut down offenses. And Coach Myles says setting that type of tone is very important as they move forward.
We look for that. They can't win if they don't score. So unfortunately we did get some scores last week, but the defense did play balls out, despite some of the mistakes that were made. They did play with a lot of effort. They played with a lot of toughness, and they were physical. But it was only for 2 quarters, so we got to put together 4 quarters. And, the goal is to become one of the top defenses in the state. We have the type of players that are capable of doing that, so we do have players that are good enough, and as a team to come together and be one of the top defenses in 3A.
Coming off last year's GHSA quarterfinals playoff berth, Coach Myles says coming into this season, the mindset of his players, state championship.
The mindset coming in is, it's a state championship. We did the 2017 team advance to the semifinals. So, the quarterfinals wasn't the farthest, and a lot of the players know some of those players that were on the team, they weren't here yet. They came the year afterwards, but a lot of those guys still come around, and so they're familiar with that. Their task is to try to be a better team than those guys were by taking it a step further. We did run into a buzzsaw at Pierce County, but fortunately they were able to win the state championship, so that kind of took a little bit of the sting out. So it's state championship or bust for us right now.
Myles is considered one of the best coaches in the state of Georgia, and when it comes down to his legacy and the imprint he'd like to leave on the Carver program, he wants to make sure Carver is known as a perennial program consistently talked about in postseason play.
Martin Luther King said the best too. If you're going to be a street sweeper, be the best street sweeper there is. You want to feel like whatever you came in and whatever you leave it, you want to make it better than when it was when you left. I feel like we have, established Carver to a perennial winner, and it's not the way it was when we came in. The next person that come in would be it'll be a program that, they can kind of pick up and take it further than what we've had when able to take it. Hopefully, it'll be a state championship and they can continue that on. But it's really important. You always want to feel like you made progress, and we felt like we've made a tremendous amount of progress, and not only just winning games, but developing, young men. When you're talking about players coming out of Carver High School to go to Vanderbilt and get a bachelor's, then get a master's from Vanderbilt, then go on to the University of Texas and on a doctorate, that played on the same field, So those are the bigger pictures. And then 10 years from later, you see guys come back and they may be they're Marshall, they have their own kids and they're doing well. So that's pretty much what, we want to be judged as a staff, is how well the players do 10 years from now, what kind of fathers they are, what kind of productive citizens they are. So in the championship is just a little bit, of the big picture, just a little bit. But the big picture is becoming big men, productive men.
All right, thanks to Coach Myles and the Carver-Atlanta Panthers for allowing us to pull up on them for this PSN Spotlight. Good luck to them this weekend in the Great Atlanta Bash, and looking forward to seeing them in action throughout the season. From the new schools at Carver in Atlanta, Georgia, I'm Damian Lewis with Prep Sports Nation.